Hello and welcome to our video on pregnancy and baby development week by week. In this video, we will take you through the journey of your baby's growth from week 1 to week 41. Week 1. At this stage, you are not technically pregnant yet. Your body is preparing for ovulation and fertilization. Week 2. Your egg is fertilized by sperm and a zygote is formed. It moves towards the uterus for implantation. Week 3. The zygote implants itself into the uterus and the placenta starts to form. Week 4. The embryo is about the size of a poppy seed and the heart, brain and spinal cord are beginning to form. Week 5. The embryo is now the size of an apple seed and the heart begins to beat. Week 6. The embryo is the size of a lentil and facial features start to form. Week 7, the embryo is about the size of a blueberry and the arms and legs start to form. Week 8, the embryo is now the size of a raspberry and all major organs have started to form. Week 9, the embryo is about the size of a cherry and the fingers and toes begin to develop. Week 10, the embryo is now the size of a strawberry and it can move its limbs. Week 11, the embryo is about the size of a lime and the digestive system starts to function. Week 12, the embryo is now the size of a plum and it is now considered a fetus. Week 13, the fetus is about the size of a peach and the vocal cords start to form. Week 14, the fetus is the size of a lemon and it can now make facial expressions. Week 15, the fetus is about the size of an orange and it can sense light. Week 16, the fetus is now the size of an avocado and it starts to develop its own unique fingerprints. Week 17, the fetus is about the size of a turnip and it can now hear sounds. Week 18, the fetus is now the size of a sweet potato and it starts to develop its own sleep and wake cycles. Week 19, the fetus is about the size of a mango and it can now taste what you eat through the amniotic fluid. Week 20, the fetus is now the size of a banana and you can start feeling its movement. Week 21, the fetus is about the size of a carrot and its digestive system starts to produce meconium. Week 22, the fetus is now the size of a papaya and it starts to develop eyebrows and eyelashes. Week 23, the fetus is about the size of a grapefruit and its lungs starts to produce surfactant. Week 24, the fetus is now the size of a cantaloupe and it starts to develop more fat and hairs. Week 25, the fetus is about the size of a cauliflower and it can now distinguish between light and dark. Week 26, the fetus is now the size of a eggplant and its eyes starts to open. Week 27, the fetus is about the size of a head of a lettuce and it can now recognize your voice. Week 28, the fetus is now the size of a butternut squash and it starts to develop more control over its movement. Week 29, the fetus is about the size of a pineapple and it can now regulate its own body temperature. Week 30, the fetus is now the size of a large cabbage and it starts to develop more complex brain functions. Week 31, at week 31, your baby is approximately 16 inches long and weighs about 3.5 pounds. Their lungs and digestive system are continuing to mature and their brain is growing rapidly. They can now recognize your voice and may even respond your touch. Week 32. At week 32, your baby is around 17 inches long and weighs approximately 4 pounds. Their skin is becoming smoother and their bones are hardening. They are also starting to develop their sleep and wake cycles. Week 33. At week 33, your baby is approximately 18 inches long and weighs around 4.5 pounds. They are continuing to gain weight and their movements are becoming stronger. Their immune system is also developing, preparing them for life outside the womb. Week 34. At week 34, your baby is around 19 inches long and weighs approximately 5 pounds. They are now able to regulate their body temperature and are practicing breathing movements in preparation for birth. Week 35. At week 35, your baby is approximately 20 inches long and weighs around 5.5 pounds. They are continuing to gain weight and their lungs are fully developed. They are also starting to move into the birthing position with their head down towards the cervix. Week 36. At week 36, your baby is around 21 inches long and weighs approximately 6 pounds. They are continuing to grow and develop, and their brain is now almost fully developed. They may be practicing their sucking and swallowing reflexes in preparation for feeding. Week 37. At week 37, your baby is approximately 21.5 inches long and weighs around 6.5 pounds. They are considered full term and are now ready to be born at any time. They may continue to gain weight and their movements may become less frequent as they prepare for birth. Week 38 to 41. In the final weeks of pregnancy, your baby is continuing to grow and develop and may gain around half a pound per week. They are now considered overdue if they have not been born by week 42. During this time, your baby's size and weight may vary, but they are fully developed and ready for life outside the womb. In conclusion, during the final weeks of pregnancy, your baby is growing and developing at a rapid pace. From week 31 to 41, they are gaining weight, developing their organs and systems, and preparing for life outside of the womb. While every pregnancy is unique, it's important to remember that your baby is fully developed and ready for birth by week 37, and their size and weight may vary in the weeks leading up to delivery.